Hello everyone, Shinto Bean here playing some more Warhammer Combat Cards Campaign Mode, and in this video I'm going to be playing 3 matches back to back, doing a speed run of the last 3 levels of this Apocalypse campaign. Space Marines versus Tyranids, everything's at max level, and we got 400 points available. I am running these games at double speed just to get through them more quickly. So I'm running Helbrecht with some of the most powerful legendary Space Marine bodyguards available. You can see there they've got the new Trigon on the field. Very big Tyranid with a Furious Charge. We are up against the Parasite of Mortrex, a melee specialist, so we'll see which of these warlords is the master of melee, the Parasite or Helbrecht, who gains attack power every time he kills something with a melee attack, as you can see right here. So every time something dies, everything gets its attack boosted. So Torgaerdon already dealing well over 200 damage to that Trigon. They bring out a Winged Tyranid Prime, targeting Arjak Rockfist over in the left lane. Tor takes down the Trigon in just 2 hits there. As you can see, I've got a total of 12 shields on the field, just really tanky Space Marines on the field here. But they do have a really big attack there, going with the melee, knocking out Arjak Rockfist, which does trigger the explosion. Whenever an infested unit is killed by an enemy Tyranid, it's going to blow up, dealing damage to the adjacent lane. So Tor took over 100 damage there from the death of his comrade. Astorath the Grim here, real MVP, dealing a massive amount of damage with the Furious Charge, taking down the Moloch, triggers the Death Blow, which does get mitigated by the Fear, and a really big attack here, finishing off the rest of the Tyranids on the board. So pretty solid state right now. I guess Torgaerdon is getting pretty low on health though, and we will lose the stacks once he dies, which he most definitely will, now that they have a Broodlord on the field with a Furious Charge, so he gets knocked out. The enemy has a Harridan as well on the field, but they go for the Psychic attack, dealing a lot of damage to Astorath the Grim. He is getting quite low. Belial still inspiring the troops up. Bring in the Chaplain Mores. He's got a Furious Charge, which deals 152 damage. And then if we go for the melee attack again, it's barely enough to take down the Broodlord, giving us yet another stack and dealing some good damage across the board. That brings out the enemy Warlord. The Parasite with the Furious Charge actually takes out Astorath the Grim, which explodes, dealing over 150 damage to both lanes. The Chaplain goes down as well, but Belial is just barely hanging on to life. Here I decide to bring out Ragnar Blackmane, who has Death Blow, so even if he dies, if he's across from the Warlord, he's going to be dealing a lot of damage. So at this point I can just go melee, or continue to go melee without any worry really, because the Parasite, although it does have quite a bit of health, it's not enough to survive the likes of a big Death Blow. Which, I mean, Blackmane actually, he just took a lot of damage from the explosion of Belial, but then bringing back the Inspiring Presence with Bjorn Fell-handed, and Blackmane does indeed go down, but the Death Blow finishes off the Parasite for the Space Marine victory. So, that is level 18 cleared. Moving on to level 19, this time we are up against the Jackal Alphys. So this is a ranged specialist, and playing through the matches in this campaign, it seemed like a lot of the decks just had a random assortment of attack types, but here it seems almost like these decks were kind of crafted around the Warlord, because we're seeing a lot more ranged units in this deck, as opposed to, you know, the Parasite, which had a lot of strong melee hitters. So we've got the new Norn Assimilator over in the right lane, targeting Torgaerdon, and a Sporicist in the center lane with Barrage. Once again, just dealing a lot of damage with the melee attacks on the first turn. The Big Game Hunter from the Norn Assimilator is kind of wasted on Torgaerdon. He's able to block a lot of the damage from these attacks with the shields, but they do get taken down, and he does die on the first Tyranid turn. So, at this point though, I can bring out the Chaplain, just trying to take down the last shield on the Exocrine over there. And then we go for a melee attack, able to take down the Sporicist, which gives us another stack, and then the Norn Assimilator goes down as well to Bjorn the Fell-handed. They bring out a Hive Crone, which has a precision shot and ranged scout, along with the Hierophant Biotitan over in the right lane. So huge amounts of damage here. Again, getting boosted by the Jackal Alphys' special rule. 378 damage to Bjorn the Fell-Handed. He does barely survive and get to counterattack there. Here we just continue going melee, as Helbrecht always does. Managed to take down 2 of the bodyguards and get 296 damage from Bjorn off before he gets killed by the counterattack from the Hierophant. Bringing out Astrath the Grim. So I think 232 damage with that Furious Charge, taken down the Hierophant, giving us yet another stack. They now have the Norn Emissary, that is the big Psyker version, targeting Arjak Rockfist, breaking through his shield there, his last shield, as it turns out. But they just bring out a small ranged Tyranid warrior at the end, so finishing kind of weak. The Norn Emissary does not really combo, well, it doesn't combo at all with the Jackal Alphys, so not really a great option for them to end with there. I bring out Belial for the Inspiring Presence, and it is their turn. They decide to go ranged and deal 156 damage despite the fear from the Chaplain from that Harridan over there, but Belial finishes off the Tyranid warrior with the counterattack, and then the enemy warlord deploys. But yeah, that Jackal Alphys has no match for Astrath the Grim. 270 damage, taking down the warlord in one hit. So that is level 19 cleared. Moving on to level 20, the final level in this campaign, and we are up against the Swarm Lord once again. So legendary warlord, of course, 4 shields, very tanky, able to debuff my attack type that I use at the end of each of my turns. Start off with Torgerdon once again on turn 1. Drop Mephiston across from Death Leaper, which has a very big Furious Charge. And they just have 2 kind of weaker bodyguards, the Zoanthrope and the Neurothrope, going kind of psychic this time. So I think, yeah, in this match we do end up seeing a lot more Psychers deploying on the field, which I personally like to run alongside the Swarm Lord in my ranked deck. Mephiston, though, pretty good with the counterattacks, able to deal quite a bit of psychic damage. They drop the Berserker Hive Tyrant, which has a psychic attack as well as Inspiring Presence. We do go for a melee attack, taking down Death Leaper, and unable to kill anything else though. And then, once again, my melee attack is getting debuffed there. They bring out a Neuro Tyrant with the Psionic Blast there, but take down the final shield on Torgerdon. Go with some pretty big psychic attacks. So even the Neurothrope is actually dealing quite a bit of damage there in the center lane. But it does go down to Tor here, and 100 more damage to the Hive Tyrant, which takes down Chaplain Morris in return. Here I decide to deploy Ragnar Blackmane just to try to get a few stacks of Berserk going on him before his death blow goes off. They have a Moloch in the center lane, so not a Psyker there, which spares Mephiston in the center lane. He's able to attack back with over 100 psychic damage. Here I bring out Astrath the Grim. His Furious Charge is enough to take down the Hive Tyrant, once again giving me another stack from Helbrecht. And with the melee attacks here, we're actually able to take down the Moloch, where the death blow goes off, killing Mephiston, which triggers his death blow, finishing off the enemy Neuro Tyrant. And giving me yet another stack because death blow does count as a melee attack. Bringing out Belial here for the Inspiring Presence before Ragnar Blackmane dies. The enemy has just 3 bodyguards remaining. They bring out the Norn Emissary, once again that Psyker, with the Moloch, no, not the Moloch, but the Maliceptor, which has a big Psionic Blast there. They also have the new Hive Tyrant, which has all 3 attack types, Inspiring Presence, and Shields. So all the psychic attacks going into Belial, who's getting targeted by the Emissary. Here I decided to go for the ranged attacks, so dealing not too much damage, but just trying to work down some of the shields before switching over to melee. But then their psychic turn is able to take down Ragnar Blackmane. A lot of his damage is blocked by the enemy shields, but he does deal some pretty good damage there. The Moloch is now in kind of a vulnerable position and bring out Arjak Rockfist, who deals 89 damage, not too much from the melee attack there, but with his main attack he's able to take down the Emissary, once again giving me some stacks there. Astaroth the Grim looking very good over there in the right lane. With the Fear, he's just able to absorb a lot of the damage, but the Sonic Blast does finish off Belial, so lose a lot of the attack boost there. I only have one bodyguard, so they've done actually a pretty good job of thinning out my ranks here. But I do bring out Bjorn, the Fell-Handed, over in the left lane, bringing back the Inspiring Presence. Rockfist only has one shield remaining, so actually he could be killed by the Swarmlord, who has been charging up this melee attack for the entire game. That's 164 melee it has, but it's just too afraid of all the melee on the field and just goes for the psychic attack, which isn't enough to take down Arjak Rockfist. So we go for the ranged attack just to be safe, because if Helbrecht deploys, I think he could actually get chopped up by the Swarmlord in one single hit. So we end the game with over 1,000 melee damage here. Astaroth the Grim delivering the final blow. So that is level 20 in the bag, and that was a whole lot of crazy Tyranids to get through, but Helbrecht is just an incredibly powerful warlord. Very fun campaign. Hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.